Hey guys, Professor Comic Book University. I'm reading Fall and Rise of Captain Atom, issue number 4 of 6. Now, this could have been a really great comic, but I'm going to have to let it fall by the wayside a little bit. And here's the reason why. As I said last issue number 3 was a fantastic, spectacular issue with an incredible ending. All right, we got essentially new powers for, well, basically, essentially a new character. He's the same character, he's the same Captain Atom, but he's changing his secret identity, changing his origin just a little bit, building off of before, and just, he's cool. And in the beginning of this issue number 4, he explains his new origin story, which is a fake origin story derived off of the older one in order to capitalize on the idea that he's somebody new. While not revealing who he really is, he has a new origin story to make everybody believe he's somebody different, because the PR of the old one, the way that he died, yeah, it was horrible. Well, here's the deal. It turns out that his blast 5 years ago actually wound up going into a federal max security facility where somebody was on death row. And of all the people in this prison, of all the people who were around this guy while he was in the electric chair and dying, the guy's name is Max Thrane, by the way. Nice play off of Thrawn. Interesting. Anyway, so he gets hit, all right, while he's being electrocuted, and nobody else anywhere near him winds up getting hit also, just this one guy. Okay, I guess if the electricity was going off and it got directed, it got sucked in that way, maybe they could have explained it that way just a little bit better. But all they instead say is, as unrealistic as it sounds, no, when you don't explain it, it's 100% impossible. It's probable when you at least explain it. And they didn't even bother to do that, which is kind of weak on their part. Hey, guys, former electrical engineer here, hire me to do a little bit of consulting anytime that you want to do some kind of scientific thing. I mean, they didn't even take a Star Trek approach and use fake science for this one. They literally just said, yeah, whatever, it's just improbable. So anyway, what happens is this guy got electrocuted in the electric chair, and then this quantum energy came in and it hit only him. So for the past 5 years, he's been in a form of suspended animation. And they kind of explained the suspended animation part really well with, oh, look, he hasn't developed any facial hair. He hasn't moved hardly an inch in the entire 5 years he's been here, but he's got a steady pulse. Okay, what the hell? How did you, what? If you would have said he's only had 3 heartbeats since that 5 years ago, maybe that would make sense then. But to say he's got a steady pulse when he hasn't moved an inch, come on, man, come on. So has he been alive and tortured this entire 5 years? Has it only felt like a couple seconds? They really don't explain it, and they really could have. Think about it. Think about this new villain who's basically, it's a new character that they're giving an old villain power to. This is Major Force, okay? You know this is Major Force. But the idea is that they could have said that he's been tortured for crime, even if it was crimes he didn't commit or crimes he did commit, whatever. If he's been tortured and in pain for the past 5 years, being electrocuted over 5 years with the same jolt of energy, wow. What a great way to say that he's gone completely crazy. But instead he kind of wakes up and he doesn't know what's going on. Either way, he gets these powers because Captain Atom goes to try and safely remove him from this warp bubble so they can continue electrocute him to death. Yeah, just double tap. Anyway, so the lawyer shows up and just really, I don't even want to talk about that because it was so ridiculous. I'm going to wind up giving this comic a negative grade if that's the case. As it stands, what happens is the guy all of a sudden knows how to use his powers. He's literally had his powers for the duration of a conversation, all right? And I mean a very short conversation. I'd say 10 seconds max. He's had his powers. Suddenly he's powerful enough. He knows how to fire energy bolts and almost knock out Captain Atom, blow through a prison wall and fly away. And talk the whole time about, hey, I'm really cool and I'm tougher than you and, better than your predecessor and blah, de blah, de blah. All of a sudden, this guy's got complete mastery of his powers. Can we explain that one? Because this comic is so weak in that regards, especially coming off of such an excellent mid-issue, I'm going to give this one a C-. This issue fails on so many levels when there's so much good and so much more they could have done. I'm going to give 2 things that could have been done to make this better, okay? One, you should have gotten rid of Dr. Megala from the very beginning. Look, I know that we've got dumb names out there like Dr. Doom, okay? Dr. Von Doom isn't exactly the greatest name in the world, but it's a cooler name and at least works when you go off of the idea that it just, the gypsy background, things like that. But if you're born and your name is Dr. Megala, your name is Megalyn, you become a doctor or whatever, dude, it's time to just change your name and forget about the entire family heritage thing, okay? Dr. Megala, really, really, so unbelievable, it's actually painful. I mean, if you're going to be changing backstories with Rebirth, how about you rebirth this guy, all right? Call him something else. Anyway, I think that, and that could just be his nickname instead, at the very least. But I think that more importantly, 6 issues of this comic is fail on the epic scale. I believe that this should have come out as a graphic novel. All 6 issues together, never reached individual issue form. Just all of them together in a graphic novel, boom, here's this really awesome story. And I think that would have worked so much better. But hey, in the meantime, whatever. Professor Bell, Comic Book University, class dismissed.